We got fifth gear pulled. Now we got the fifth driven gear. So the fifth driven gear and the fifth gear, they have a very close relationship. They're married, okay? I don't know if you understand what that means these days, but that means that they do things together. They're kind of a matched set. So fifth gear's been pulled. These teeth are driven by these teeth. And so, you know, if let's say you're working on fifth gear and fifth gear is damaged, because these teeth touch these teeth, they're both carrying the same disease. So in other words,
COVID.
If these are, oh my goodness, so if these are damaged, we're changing the fifth driven gear, or if the fifth driven gear is damaged, we're changing the actual fifth gear, the drive gear. Regardless, even if you're just trying to split the case, we need to pull this gear off. So you'll notice there's no threaded holes in this one. It makes it much more challenging. So we just got this little sleeve right here. The way to go about it is this here bearing splitter. So we're going to take the bearing splitter, open it up, slide it on, close it down, tighten up the bolts a little bit. And that's going to basically catch the lip right there. And so this is going to use the same universal puller, but you need to have this bearing splitter as an addition. So this is kind of the setup we're going for, just to show what this is going to look like. Now these bearing splitters have 3/8 by 16 threaded holes in them. So we went ahead and we got 3/8 by 16 bolts at a reasonable length. And we're going to thread the 2 bolts into the 2 holes on the bearing splitter. And this is a nice bearing splitter, but you can get a cheap bearing splitter like a Hobo Freight bearing splitter or something. I mean, whatever you're going to do to get the job done. I guess it depends on how often you're going to use it. These ones are going to be used and abused semester after semester by crazy students paying very little tuition. And so they're going to get pretty hammered. So these happen to be snap-on bearing splitters, but I'm not even going to judge you if you get a cheap one. I probably would, because this wouldn't be something I'd use in the field often. So we're just, again, threading the bolts up by hand. I'm going to start to turn it. Just make sure I like how it's sitting. And actually, this one's going to pull pretty easy, so I'm going to cheat a little bit. Okay, just like that. Now that gear's been officially pulled. You broke it. You broke it. Now all your guts are falling out, but that's kind of the setup there. And so, once you pull it, it's not going to be that difficult to reinstall it, but that'll be a different video. That's why you notice there's a threaded bolt in the center of the, a threaded hole in the center of the shafts, because we can drive it in with a bolt. So, that right there, you don't need a possum to pull your fifth drive gear, but you do need a bearing splitter. Okay.